Alright, you bloody legends, guess what we're going to unbox today? It is the Talaria MX4. This beautiful machine has come into us, and guess what? I'm going to show you how to build it. So get ready, get strapped, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see this beautiful specimen in order. Ow. So once we get rid of the cardboard and all the plastics, there is your MX4. Plus, you've got your wheel. So we're going to put this aside for later. And first, we're going to get rid of all this plastic because, like animals in the ocean, you don't want to be surrounded by plastic. You want to be calm and friendly. Now, obviously with Talaria, they like to include a lot of other shit. So we just get rid of all that. You've got your box. Now this has got all your little essentials in it. Keep that to the side, ready to go. There she is. How good is that? This blue MX4. Let's get it built so we can show you guys what it does. Now, obviously, get your trusty Stanley knife, and like all builds that we do, we cut all the zip ties off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. Better off. Boom. Now you'll see a little zip tie around the head stem. Once you get that little cap off, grab that zip tie, grab some tin snips, and just cut her off. And if tin snips don't work, use a bloody knife. Boom. Alright. Is everything ready? So, what we're going to do is going to jump in our box. Once we undo this bit of bubble wrap. Talaria is quite easy to build. Now, you're not going to take too long. But if you're unsure, it's definitely worth paying the supplier to be able to build them for you if they offer it. Us at iScoot, we like to offer a full comprehensive build. You know, it's either done by myself or one of the higher up techs. So let us know. We're always happy to do it for you. All right, let's get back into it. You'll notice the charger box under the front forks, the MX4. Put that to the side. You're not going to need that for the next hour. Just go around the bike, cut any excess zip ties off. Do not cut your straps. Why? Because you can use them later. Don't be a dumbass. Alright, now grab your Talaria MX box. Grab your knife, slice her open. Don't be a fuckhead about it. Don't do damage. Don't be overexcited like your ADD self wants to be. Just grab everything in there. Now, you'll notice that the box actually comes with pegs. They're for your feet. Save your life. Amazing. You've got your Talaria front mudguard, which, as you guys know, a lot of the older bikes didn't include. Your 2 wheel spacers. Very important. Keeps your wheel in line. Stops you from dying. Amazing. You've got your bolts, your keypad and your head stem, plus your actual keys themselves. All right, keep this around because you're going to need that next. You've got your gear oil, so that's for your gearing and your chain. Toolkit, falls down there, and your head stem. And we're going to go through on detail how this works. We've also got your manual and a few zip ties. So, let's get started. Chuck your gear oil in, chuck your manual into the box. Okay, chuck your little Talaria front mudguard in. Because all we're going to need, even your pegs, we'll do those last. So we're just going to need your head stem at first. And then we're going to need the bolts to go on later. So let's get that sorted. Alright legends, so you get included this little ring and your head stem. Okay, this little ring goes on the top. Get your cables out of the way. As you can tell with the Talarias, they include the light on it already. So slide that on, grab your bolt and your little top cap. Now if you have a look, there's a little white line. Alright, a line, you can see it just here. Align these little white lines together and that'll get you the most perfectly straight head stem. Let's go. Alright, so what tools have we got in the Talaria MX4? You've got a 15 and 15 socket, well, spanner. You've got your, if you don't drop them, Allen keys. There we go, got these ones ready to go. So, grab the one for your head stem. Align your two white lines together. Obviously, take them with a grain of salt just to make sure she's even. But yep, align those two together. And you've got two little bolts on the side here to tighten. Tighten those two. When you tighten them up, just do a couple of quick, once they're tight, do a couple of quick notches just to make sure that, obviously, if you hit something, it's not going to turn left and you're going to go into a tree. Because trees don't move. They're the best set of brakes you'll ever get. Chuck that one. There we go. All right. Grab your top cap and bolt, slide it through. Now the thing is, you've already aligned it, so she's not going to move. Chuck your top cap in, and we'll be straight with you. If your little friend from Facebook or whatever else tells you how to do this, there's a good chance they've probably never built one. So don't trust them. There we go. Align your light. Okay. Now, like your Surons, you got your handlebars. Cool thing about these handlebars, they actually include everything on them ready to go. It's just got to be plugged in. So, we grab our little bag of tools, a little head stem bolt, and we hook her up. Make sure you grab your 4 Allen key bolts out of the bag. They are your black ones for reference. Do not use the silver ones. They will screw up your entire ideology of having a Talaria. Now, with like all e-bikes, you've got your adjustments. Now the way we do these adjustments is we put the head stem on here, okay? We loosely put our bolts in, and then from there, we adjust it to exact size. I'll show you. Alright legends, so what we do is we align our bars. We make sure that the lines are accurate as, and then we also do a cross pattern either side. Cross pattern either side. And then what you'll find is your handlebars will stay in place. Alright. Tighten the last couple up. Now, you'll notice that you've got your display here. You want to be able to, when you're sitting like this, see your display. So that is near on perfect. Alright, you got your brake lever on that side attached for your front. You've just got to attach the rear one, which is down here. Let's go. Now, let's get the handlebars straight, and there we go. Perfect. Now you'll notice on the front here, you got your lines. Align the lines as best as possible, whilst making sure your display is aimed for you.
Yeah, you were like 15 minutes to cars.
Get these all up and running. There we go. Now, when you always do them in a cross pattern. So that way it does even pressure on all 4 bolts. Because the last thing you want is have your Talaria head stem bend on you mid-jump. Wouldn't be that good. Would not be fun. So, boom. And then what we're going to do, because no one actually tells you to do this, do these ones here. Boom. And boom. Alright, now we've got to do the rear brake. So we've got these 2 little bolts here. You just got to undo those and we'll get started. Alright, grab the smallest Allen key, slip it in there. The first one out, boom, hold it in your hand. Get the second one out. Now you got your Talaria display here. Be quick about it. And actually use your hand to put the first Allen key in. Boom, there we go. Second Allen key, jump in, turn around. And then all we got to do is evenly tighten them up, whilst making sure your brake lever is fully accessible from the rear hand. Boom, boom. There we go. Alright, so if you just angle this down a little bit, alright, you can actually get it to a point where it's comfortable in your hand and not an absolute pain in the ass. But, like if anything, you've got 2 bolts, you need to tighten both of them. So, don't be lazy. Do your shit, you fucking millennials. I'm looking at you. Done. Alright. Alright legends, so we've got to do the front axle. Now the way that this works is you've got 4 bolts on the front. Loosen them up. Because otherwise your axle is going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get out. You can try and skip steps, but if you skip steps, you're probably going to fuck it up. So take your advice from the old DJ High Voltage and do it the right way. Boom. Now they're all loose. What you can do, grab your big Allen key, screw off the end cap, boom, and then what we do is alright guys, so you grab your Allen key and unscrew these 4 here, and then from there you've got your strap. Boom, crank that off. Okay, now you've got an axle bolt that goes through there. What you can actually do is you've got to actually smack it out. So if you've got a bigger Allen key, you can obviously stick it in here. If not, if you got to do it the old school way, take tension off the bolt and we'll be able to get it through. The other way you can do it, grab your socket, and as you can tell, she does start to come out. Then grab a big Allen key, and eventually you can just pull her out like that. Alright, sweet. Now, because you got it tied down in place, she's not going to move a muscle. So let's get her onto the stand, and then we can get this complete build finished, and you can be out riding like no time. Alright, so we're going to take the straps off now. So you got your 2 blue straps on your MX4. Now, if you're smart about it, you'll keep these straps, put them in your box. Got the other one on the front here. Boom. Done. Now what you do is you get your motorbike stand, put it on the front here, ready to roll. So that way, we can just go 1, 2, 3. Boom. Now let's get that front wheel on, guys and girls. She's ready, the MX4. All right, gents, save some women for the rest of us. Let's go. All right, guys, so you've got your red bits here. Once you've got your brake cables hooked up, have a look. Now, they'll have two little arrows on them. Once you join them together, easy as. Okay, now we look at these ones. There's a green one, green to green. Follow the arrows. Boom. What's this one? Red to red. And these ones together. Boom. Now we have these two wires here. One is for your red and one is for your black. Easy. Boom. Done. Alright, let's get the front wheel on and we're ready to roll. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we've got the wheel spacers. These are these little things here, and what they do, if you got your bearing, so they just sit on top of the bearing there, aim them together, you get your wheel axle, so your Allen key bolt and your full size bolt. Now, when we sit on the forks, for starters, you're going to find there is a little brake tab in there. Pull it out, because otherwise you're going to sit there for like 2 hours. Chuck your front wheel in. Yes, you will have your brake sleeve escape on you, but you'll be right. Now, your wheel axle bolt will actually go in one way. So, you'll find that there is an end that takes the whole kit. There we go. Grab your Allen key up. Tighten her up. There we go. Front wheel spins. Awesome. Now all we got to do is tighten our little Allen key bolts up on the side here. So jump on there. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Now obviously this is your front axle bolt, so you want to take a little bit of extra boom and just make sure that she's all tight, because last thing you want is your front wheel coming off, or at least have that bit of flex that if you jump over a jump or you know you want to do a wheelie or something like that, you're not going to be stranded and fucked. And unfortunately, as most people don't film it, that is actually what happens. And people like myself get all the horror stories. Not fun. Not fun. Boom. Boom. Now these are so important. These are so important. A lot of people dead set forget these bolts. Alright, get those tightened up. Boom. There we go. Now, you'll hear a bit of disc rubbing. So it's your brake disc rubbing on the pads. It's honestly brand new. Give it a bit of a ride. It won't happen again. But one of the biggest turnbacks is like, oh, what does this sound? It's normal. It's completely there. You just got to let it wear out because they're brand new pads. All right. Let's get the front gear on, and then honestly, you're ready to roll. There's not much to it left. All right, we get it off the stand. Boom. There we go. Look at that. She's sexy as fuck. MX400 ready to go. Now, it would help that if I undid that. That would definitely help. There we go. So there we go. She sits ready to go. We just got a cable tidy, everything on there, and then she's ready. Let's go. All right, so you got your foot pegs, you got your bolts that come with the pack. So what you got to do is just align these to there. Boom. All right, so once you're aligned to there, get a little bolt, put it in the back, and tighten her up. Now, this is your life you're playing with, so probably make it a little bit tighter than what you would anyone else's. There we go, almost done. Doesn't take much, but look, honestly, just don't half-ass anything, because this is your life you're playing with. This is an electric dirt bike. All right, it is a dirt bike. It will 70 k's an hour stacking one of these is 70 k's an hour stacking like a petrol bike. So, you know, as much as petrol bikes are fun, they're not the same as road bikes. There we go. Boom. Let's get the other peg on. All right, so slip this one in. Again, make sure these little pins align with that. Boom, you can see the peg straight. So all we're gonna do is chuck the bolt on the back. Spin, 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 spin. And then at that point, boom, boom, boom. So close to being done, guys, so close. A couple more turns and then we should be done. There we go. All right, boom, boom, boom. One extra quarter turn just to make sure she's good. Yep. Let's cable manage this motherfucker. All right, so the way to cable manage these guys is starters, get your old cables nice and neat, tuck them through. One zip tie. Now, get it all hooked up, get it all nice and neat. Boom. One. Now you can see just after these cables here, go two, and you will have the best and neatest cables on the block. Boom. Yes, you got little tabblies here, do not stress, we can get rid of those. Two, three.
No problem.
There you go.
Talk soon.
Alright, now we start with these cables as well too, just make sure they're obviously in line. There we go. Alright. Now, like I've done with my other videos, start a zip tie very close, tighten her up. Alright. Boom. That's how we keep all our cables neat. These ones here. Now watch this. All this will become one. There we go. Alright, and then up here, one last one to link them all together. Now, we got a cable cutter, tag off all these tags. Where is it? There we go. Little sucker here. Alright. Now if you want to make that look really neat, put your tags underneath. There we go. There we go. Perfect. There's no other Talaria like this. Alright, so we're just going to put the front fascia on. Front mudguard. We're done, guys. Wow. Alright, so we got our Talaria badge. What we do is put the zip tie in on the furthest spot. Okay, jump up here. Put the zip tie in on the furthest, on the closest spot on the same one. Make sure that she's not twisted. Chuck her in. Then we just tuck in. Grab this one. Same thing. And we get the last lucky zip tie, number 4. And then that's our whole front fascia done. Alright, the last part of the night, guys, is your front mudguard. So you got to take a bit of the plastics off. You'll notice a diamond pattern. 1, 2, 3. All we're going to do is grab your bolt, grab your tip, put your bolt through there. And don't do that, but put your bolt through afterwards. As you can tell, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. And hand screw her in. You got 2 other more bolts to do. If you feel like grabbing your Allen key, stick it in, because a bit of a pain in the ass. There we go. Front mudguard's on. Last but not least, this one here, which should hopefully go straight into the hole. Boom, done. ¿Cómo estás to our Spanish friends? Say hola. Now you can tell up here is the horn. Alright, so you got a motorcycle horn, 12 volter straight up. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Guess what, you little legends? Your Talaria is ready to ride. Let's go. Alright, so you jump on the bike, grab your key, stick her in, turn the key on. Doesn't do fuck all. You know why? Because you haven't connected the battery yet. So down here, boom, click this up, got your battery. You can even click the little button, shows you a couple of bars. Clip that in there, clip your breaker on, boom, clip that in. Now guess what? Click, click, look at that. Yes guys, we got an MX4 ready to roll. Kick your stand up. Now on the right hand side here, you got a start button. Now you'll notice up here, she goes ready, sport. Press ready, it'll go eco. So different modes, and then you got your regen settings here. Plus your horn. All right, how cool is that? Got a Talaria. Now let's pump up the tires, ready to go. All right, guys, so we got to just pump it up to 32 PSI, and then you're right to hit the road. Boom. Already at 0. Boom. All right. Now, again, so with like the Solarons, if you want to ever release your valve stem, they've actually got a valve stem remover built into the cap. So bloody well screw that on when she doesn't disappear on you. Easy done. Look at that. Save some women for the rest of us, you bloody dogs. Alright, rear wheel, same thing, 32 PSI. The cap obviously bloody escapes on you. Boom, 32. Done and dusted. There we go, guys. What's that? An MX4 ready to roll. How exciting.